Karma's a dish best served cold, and boy, was my serving extra frosty. It was like eating ice cream in the Arctic, utterly frigid and satisfyingly sweet. I'm Arthur, 52 years old, and until recently, I was a seasoned marketing manager at Omnicorp Solutions. 15 years I gave them, 15 years of gray hairs and lukewarm coffee-fueled ideas. I practically lived and breathed that company. My wife, Beatrice, jokes that I spent more time with my team than with her and the kids when they were younger. There's a grain of truth to that. I admit, probably closer to a boulder, actually. I genuinely cared about the work, the people, and Omnicorp's success, even if that success mostly lined the pockets of the executives on the top floor. Then came Bryson, fresh out of Wharton, brimming with buzzwords like vertical integration and agile methodology, and sporting the kind of annoyingly perfect teeth and trust fund confidence that just screams, I've never had to worry about anything. He was probably in his early 30s, maybe even pushing 28. To him, I was just old hat, a dinosaur roaming the halls of a modern tech company. Someone who remembered when Clippy the paperclip was considered groundbreaking AI. The subtle digs? They started almost immediately. At first, I tried to laugh them off. Harmless ribbing, right? Hey, Arthur, remember fax machines? Those were the days. Or, Arthur, we should get you on TikTok. You seem like you're missing out on the youths. But they kept coming, like a persistent drip eroding a stone, chipping away at my confidence, making me feel like I was somehow less valuable, less relevant. I started second-guessing my instincts, questioning decisions I'd made with confidence for years. I even considered bleaching my hair, a truly alarming thought. Bryson's obsession with youth extended beyond just age. He wanted Omnicorp to be the cool company, the one all the hip, young talent clamored to work for. He pushed for open-plan offices with beanbag chairs, mandatory meditation sessions, which I secretly replaced with lunchtime naps, and endless team-building retreats involving trust falls and awkward icebreakers. I just wanted to focus on crafting effective marketing campaigns that actually, worked. Campaigns that didn't involve viral dance challenges or overly enthusiastic hashtags. The tension between us simmered beneath the surface like a poorly maintained pressure cooker, a silent battle of wills fought over marketing budgets and office temperature settings. My team felt it too. They were a mix of experienced marketers who remembered the pre-internet era and bright-eyed recent grads armed with social media analytics. They were fiercely loyal, a motley crew I'd assembled over the years. They saw through Bryson's facade, recognizing his lack of actual experience and his reliance on flashy trends over substance. They'd come to me, whispering their concerns, seeking reassurance that we weren't all going to be replaced by Gen Z influencers any day now. One of my team members, Eleanor, a sharp and ambitious young woman in her late 20s with a talent for data analysis and a healthy dose of cynicism, became a confidant. She shared my concerns about Bryson's direction for the company, and we bounced ideas off each other, trying to navigate the increasingly treacherous waters. We'd spend hours after work, dissecting Bryson's latest pronouncements, trying to decipher the hidden agenda behind his constant push for innovation. Eleanor even started a secret Slack channel called The Resistance, where we'd share memes mocking Bryson's management style and vent our frustrations. It was probably unprofessional, but it kept us sane. Then came the day the axe fell. I was summoned to Bryson's office, the standard HR rep, a nervous woman named Patricia, already awkwardly perched on the edge of a chair, clutching a manila folder like a life raft. Bryson, all faux sincerity and carefully rehearsed empathy, delivered the news. Arthur, after careful consideration and strategic realignment, we've decided to restructure the marketing department. Your position is being eliminated. It's not personal, it's just business. The blood drained from my face. I felt a cold dread creeping up my spine, but I refused to let him see me crack. I remained calm, almost detached, as he droned on about new paradigms and optimizing synergy. I glanced at the HR rep, Patricia, her eyes filled with a mixture of pity and uncomfortable resignation. The severance package was presented, standard, insulting, and utterly predictable. 2 weeks for every year of service. Basically enough to cover a month's worth of groceries and a weekend getaway. I simply nodded, thanked them for their time, though I wanted to scream obscenities, and walked out. The rage hit me later, in the privacy of my car, sitting in the parking lot, engine off. 15 years reduced to a handshake and a measly severance. The injustice of it burned like acid. It felt like they were discarding me like an old, worn-out shoe. The metaphorical shoe, of course. I still had my actual shoes on. That evening, I told Beatrice. She was furious, not just for me, but for all the sacrifices we'd made over the years for my career. She saw the toll the job had taken, the late nights, the missed birthdays, the stress etched on my face. That little weasel, she fumed, slamming a fist on the kitchen counter. He doesn't know what he's done. You built that company. She then proceeded to launch into a detailed diatribe about Bryson's poor fashion sense and questionable hairstyle, which, I had to admit, was rather satisfying. I spent the next few weeks and days going through the motions of updating my resume, attending networking events, which mostly consisted of awkward small talk and stale canapes, and scrolling through endless job postings. It was soul-crushing. The ageism was palpable. Recruiters would smile politely, listen to my experience, and then quietly ghost me. I even had one recruiter suggest I consider a career change to something less demanding, like, what? Knitting sweaters for cats? But beneath the surface, a plan was forming. Like a glacier slowly grinding its way through the landscape, my resolve hardened. Bryson wanted disruption? I'd give him disruption. He wanted a new paradigm? I'd show him what a real paradigm shift looked like. I'd quietly started saving, squirreling away money into a rainy day fund, with the sinking feeling that my time at Omnicorp Solutions could come to an end. It was a hunch, a nagging feeling that I couldn't shake. Turns out, my gut instinct was still sharper than Bryson's business acumen. I leveraged my contacts, the relationships I'd built over years in the industry. Former colleagues, clients, even competitors. I let them know I was available for consulting work, offering my outdated expertise at a premium. The word spread quickly, like wildfire. The reputation I had was enough for all of them to jump on board. Meanwhile, at Omnicorp Solutions, Bryson's vision was imploding. He replaced our proven marketing strategies with flashy social media campaigns featuring cat videos and influencer collaborations with reality TV stars. He poured money into metaverse experiments that went nowhere. The results were disastrous. Sales plummeted. Website traffic tanked. Customer engagement evaporated. The customer support lines never stopped ringing. The board, initially impressed by Bryson's fresh approach, grew increasingly concerned. They demanded answers, and Bryson, panicked, scrambled for solutions. He blamed everyone but himself, of course. The economy, the consumers, the weather. Anything but his own incompetence. Then came the call. A hesitant, almost apologetic voice on the other end. Arthur? It's Bryson. I was hoping we could talk. I played hard to get, of course. Bryson? I'm a little busy right now. What's this about? Did you finally figure out how to use a spreadsheet? He stammered, admitting that the new marketing strategy wasn't working, that the company was in trouble, that they needed my help. He practically begged me to come back. He was sweating bullets. I could practically hear it over the phone. That's when I laid out my terms. Not just a consulting contract, but a seat on the board. Not just a temporary fix, but a complete overhaul of their marketing strategy, a return to sanity. Not just a paycheck, but a commitment to mentoring the younger team members, sharing my experience, and ensuring that this kind of short-sightedness never happened again. And, of course, a very, very large sum of money. He balked at first, sputtering about corporate governance and board protocols, but he was desperate. He knew he had no other choice. I negotiated an even sweeter deal, demanding full autonomy over the marketing department and a significant equity stake in the company. He swallowed his pride and agreed. It was a bitter pill for him, I could tell. Returning to Omnicorp Solutions was surreal. The atmosphere was palpable. Bryson avoided eye contact, slinking around the office like a scolded puppy. He tried to be cordial, but the sight of me made his lip curl up. The younger team members, initially wary of my old-school approach, quickly realized the value of my experience and mentorship. They were eager to learn, to absorb the knowledge I had accumulated over the years. They even started calling me the marketing Yoda, which I found both amusing and slightly endearing. I dismantled Bryson's disastrous campaigns, resurrected our proven strategies, and implemented a new approach that blended traditional marketing principles with modern techniques. I started by firing the influencer that Bryson hired, She had a bad attitude and had no business acumen. Slowly but surely, the company began to recover. Sales rebounded, website traffic surged, and customer engagement soared. The phone line stopped ringing, and orders were flying. The board was ecstatic, showering me with praise and gratitude. Bryson, however, was a shadow of his former self, his arrogance replaced with a nervous humility. He eventually resigned, citing personal reasons. He probably went back to Daddy's company or something. I didn't just rebuild OmniCorp Solutions, I transformed it. I created a culture that valued experience and innovation, where age was seen as an asset, not a liability. I mentored countless young marketers, helping them develop their skills and reach their full potential. I installed Eleanor as the head of social media. The experience changed me too. It taught me the importance of resilience, the power of experience, and the satisfaction of proving your worth. I finally understood that age is just a number that, in my case, came with a whole lot of valuable knowledge and a healthy dose of skepticism. Beatrice often says that getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me. At the very least, it meant more date nights and a hefty increase in my salary, enabling us to finally buy that vacation home in the Bahamas. We even started taking salsa lessons. So that's my story. A story of ageism, betrayal, and ultimately, sweet, sweet revenge. A reminder that karma is always watching, and that experience always triumphs in the end. And that sometimes the best revenge is a well-executed marketing campaign and a healthy dose of schadenfreude. I'm just glad I was the one serving it.